Imagine being in the prime of your life, feeling healthy and in great shape, and then it all just comes crashing down.
That's exactly what happened to actor Brooklyn McGlynn. You may recognize him from shows like Cloak and Dagger, Blackish, or Goliath. At 43, he suffered a massive heart attack, the same thing his father went through at the age of 49.
And Brooklyn is here with us today during Men's Health Week to share his story of triumph and important advice to other men about keeping up their health. Good morning, Brooklyn.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
We are so happy to have you, and you are here. So let's go back to the day that you had that heart attack.
Okay.
How did you know something was wrong?
I was playing basketball, so we're May 2016, and I felt a little tightness like in my sternum area. But I kept playing like most dudes do. We just try to ignore pain. And later on that day, maybe like an hour or so later, my left arm started going numb. And I was like, ooh, that's a problem. So I drove myself to Sherman Oaks Hospital and went in there, and the guy hooked me up and he said, man, you having a massive heart attack right now. And literally right at that moment, I thought of my father who died of a heart attack at 49. I was like, man, I've been working out all my life trying to avoid being in this situation, and here I am. So subsequently ended up needing open heart surgery 2017. That surgery failed, had to do it again in 2018, and that period in between was a really, really tough time. Like, I literally thought about taking my own life just because I couldn't see that being the rest of my life, is dealing with heart problems.
Yeah.
But, you know, I managed to not do that and persevere, and the second surgery went well. So, you know, here we are today.
Yeah, and that was a second open heart surgery, right?
Yeah.
And then so you mentioned your father died at 49 of a heart attack. So were you ever concerned it was going to happen to you? Like, why didn't you, check on yourself regularly?
You know what? I thought it could happen to me. But that was the reason why I tried to stay in shape.
Yeah.
So in my mind, it never crossed my mind that I could die from it. But I thought, you know what, you might have to cross that bridge at some point. It just happened way sooner than I thought because I was in good shape.
Yeah.
So did you go to the doctor regularly?
Went to the doctor. I mean, I played sports, so you got to get your physicals in college and, professional, whatever. So.
And nobody ever detected anything?
No.
So you had the two open heart surgeries. You had the transplant in the height of the pandemic.
Yeah.
When the doctors called you and said, all right, it's go time, what were you thinking?
You know what? At that point, I had been dealing with my heart for 5-6 years. So I just was kind of like, God, this is whatever this is. Like, let's just do it. There was no fear because I'm like, I had already flatlined, from the second heart attack on the way to the hospital. So at that point, I'm like, well, if you still want me here, then I'm going to do whatever's necessary. So the tough part about a transplant is knowing that someone else is dying so you can stay alive. So that was the toughest thing for me to have to deal with. But, I did the surgery. I did have a stroke during the heart transplant, so I couldn't move the left side of my body when I woke up. But, you just got to dig in and persevere. And fortunately, I am an athlete, so I knew how to get back in shape. So
and how are you doing now physically in terms of your body actually accepting the heart and everything?
Yeah, I mean, I have to take the medication, you know what I mean, for the rest of my life. But physically, I feel on top of the world.
Well, you look great.
Yeah. So what would you tell, there's so many, what would you tell everyone out there? I guess kind of the cautionary tale of your life. You're sitting here today actually able to tell it.
Yeah. I would say primarily to men, but, everybody, men and women, is, men, we think we indestructible. Yeah. So we don't necessarily go see about a problem until there is a problem. And I go, go see before you think there's a problem so you can catch it before. So I caught mine during, which is why now I'm, I have to deal with the way I have to deal with it. But to be preventative is really the key. But, you got to go for your family, for your, do it. That's what my father didn't do. He wouldn't do the things that he needed to do for his family. So I'm like, man.
You're going to do that.
Yeah.
And really quickly, you are a fierce advocate for organ donation, clearly. This is something that you feel very passionately about. For somebody that is not a donor or maybe on the fence, what would you tell them? I
would say that here's the biggest thing about organ donating. So our country does a really good job of trying to divide us. And I go, the fact that we can give each other organs tells us that we're all the same. There is no separation. So if you're thinking about organ donating, you know, go ahead and do it. I'm definitely going to do it. You can take everything I got at this point, like, you know, so, but no, it's definitely a positive thing to do. It's worthwhile.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
Brooklyn, thank you so much. Your story is so inspiring, and we'll see you out on the basketball course.
The basketball court,
and
the golf course.
We're so glad that
and on
you're here.
TV.
Yes.
And on TV. Yeah, for sure.
And by the way, do you like artichokes?
Yes.
Because that's our next segment.
That was loaded, right?
I'm not sure about that answer.
That was loaded.
Well, we don't know.
We're going to have to stick around for that one.